Are turn-based RPGs a thing of the past? Final Fantasy XVI tends to think so, but yet here we are with some hope on the horizon in Clair Obscure's Expedition 33. For those of you who have seen this game, it was first revealed on the Xbox Games Showcase and has been confirmed to be coming to Game Pass for both the Xbox and PC. So that is something to look forward to. We're going to talk about the release date and more and go over all that we've learned, all these little hidden secrets and new details in this video. Typically, I cover action RPGs here at the channel, but I must admit that Expedition 33 has my curiosity piqued. So I'm sure going to keep you guys up to date on all the news regarding its development. So if you're interested in that and you feel like I earn your sub, sound off in the comments below. I'd love to welcome new subs to the channel, just like with this legend Fox Charmer, who says my message of hope just made them a subscriber. And if you guys are struggling in this life, stick around for that message of hope. It's a really good part of these videos that I like to put here on the internet. And it's something I think a little bit better than just your typical doom scroll that can happen on social media. But let's get into the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. Let's talk about combat because, like I said, I opened this up with Final Fantasy XVI and there was a clear divide within the community. And so it always brings up the question to me, are we going to see this kind of new school RPG versus old school? Obviously, I'm rooted in that turn-based generation. I grew up on those classic Final Fantasy games, and I'm excited to see a turn-based RPG make its way back into the world, but it also seems to have a blend of Persona, a blend of Final Fantasy X, a blend of Lost Odyssey. These are some really awesome and I think key pointed games within the RPG genre as a whole. So regarding combat though, it's a mix of your classic turn-based systems, obviously with a little bit of a treat of real-time inputs. This makes me think, again, Lost Odyssey. So this is where you can dodge and you can parry, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like here in a little bit. Now, one of the things I was really excited to see, because as a part of exploration, you can see the enemies in the world, and so you can then choose how you want to take that engagement on. Now, the areas in this game are freely explorable. You control a single character from your party, and this is something that you choose, so you get to set which is going to be your character representative in this game. And you'll see those enemies, like I said, and that will then have you kick off an instant battle. This is a classic transition into an entirely different experience. So let's break down the battle flow for you guys. For those of you who don't know, your turn order is going to be displayed at all times. Again, this is that callback to Final Fantasy X there. When it is one of your character's turns, you're offered the option to attack, use an item, use a skill, or go into free aim mode. And what that means is that will allow you to use your pistol, or if you're a magic user, magic, and that you can actually have to aim at the enemies to add in extra damage. This can also come with additional benefits, like blowing up a mine, for example, and then damaging all enemies that you are facing. Now, many of the attacks that the enemies actually will throw at you can be dodged and or parried with a well-timed button press. And this is where it gets interesting. Dodges are on the easier side, and again, none of this is designed to be easy, but dodges out of the two are the easier option, which is going to negate all damage. Parries, however, harder to pull off, and if you perform a successful parry, you will also do a massive counterattack as well as avoiding the damage as well. So these are two ways that you can then interact with when you are in an enemy attack phase. Victory comes with a classic RPG victory screen where you're going to get some loot, some XP. You're going to see some interesting stats like highest damage, time, damage dealt, successful parries, damage received, successful dodges, etc. And I think that's something interesting to kind of see that tracked. I really hope that is something we're going to see tracked throughout the game, so you can see your overall stats from battle to battle, but that's just gonna be my personal wish that we see here. Now, the world of Expedition 33 is also incredibly unique. It feels like a living painting, which ties into the core theme of the game. The paintress basically every year decides who of what age group will die, and in this case it's 33, and so that is the setting for the stage. But if you look at the gameplay, if you look at the world as people are exploring, it feels like you're both underwater and not underwater at the same time. It feels like these flying waters are going about, so it gives this really interesting ethereal and the impossible is possible kind of vibe and feel, which if you just translate the footage that we've already been shared about this game, I think this is going to just be a kind of a very small slice of what we can expect. This applies to enemies, this applies to the narrative beats in this game, so it's going to be a fun one to witness for sure. Now, going back to each party member, they're going to have their unique style. Gustav here is somebody you see in the trailer in the gameplay. He can actually charge up his mechanical arm, building up that charge to unleash a devastating special attack. The longer the charge, the more spectacular and damaging the results of the attack may be. And one of the things that's really clearly present in this gameplay footage, namely, is how powerful, like how visually impressive it all looks together with the enemy attacks and your character attacks as well. Loon, as another character, for example, can actually infuse their skills with elemental affinities. This is going to basically allow you to target enemy weaknesses, and as an old school Final Fantasy fan where monsters had elemental weaknesses, I'm really excited to see this make its way back in. It's hard to do that in an action RPG because the combat is so much faster and fluid. Here is more strategic and tactical, all in all. But there is still yet more to come. This game is going to be releasing on PC, Xbox, and PS5 in 2025. It's also been confirmed to be a part of Game Pass on day one. So let me know if you're interested in this game, if you're thinking about picking it up. I'll keep you up to date on all the developments. And as we like to do with our videos here at the channel, is wrap up with our message of hope. Life is worth living, but you're not weak if you've ever felt that that isn't true, especially if you're feeling that way today. So today I want to talk to you specifically. I feel like this is why you clicked on this video. The thing is, there is something that we all face. These are lies, though, that pop up into our minds. And if we entertain them, they sometimes can actually get the better of us. They can make us feel overwhelmed. They can freeze us in our tracks. In worst case scenarios, we actually start to believe these lies. Belief is a powerful thing, and it doesn't just apply to some form of religious mindset. The belief that you can do something, that you can change your life, often leads to you doing something and actually changing your life. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard, but you were made to go through hard things. I just need you to believe in yourself. Asking for help isn't a weakness, by the way. I'm talking to the men here right now. But note that even though the internet will say that men should be able to share their feelings and this is the ideal man, etc., that's actually not the case. As much as people say things, the reality ends up being is that males aren't generally supported in their sufferings. In fact, usually you're told to suck it up and get over it. And that is essentially how society will treat you. This isn't a knock on society. This is me telling you to be free, to understand that aspect. And then that way, I think all of a sudden the glass shattering moment happens and you realize, oh, this is actually a freeing mindset. The world's not going to care about me. I'm going to get up and do it anyway. I'm going to move forward and press on. And I'm going to be the person that I want to be, the person that I've always dreamed of being. It just is going to take some effort. It's going to take that belief that you can and you will. I always talk to my kids about the little engine that could. It's an incredibly profound message that it's so easy that sometimes, especially in the noise of the world, that it's easy to forget. Now, one thing you might know about me, or if you're new, you might not, I love baseball. I love the sport of baseball. And I just started actually coaching my sons who are playing t-ball for the first time. I love this sport because it teaches you that failure is the name of the game. If you fail 70% in this game, you're an all-star. And that is the real trick. You only really truly fail when you give up. And that doesn't mean that you're going to hit it out of the park at every at-bat you take. So be tenacious and treat any loss as an opportunity to learn and to grow rather than any kind of true setback. Yes, there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be setbacks for all of us. That's something we share uniquely as humans together. Same thing with sufferings. Who here hasn't suffered? But the point is not to let suffering define you. Let it refine you. Let it make you something better, because we can actually better relate to each other in this. We're not at war. We're not like at each other's throats. Social media has the tendency to bring out our worst qualities because text can be misinterpreted and things like that. So just note that life is worth living. You're worth living for, and you're worthy of love. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is forgive yourself and also to love yourself. And so that's something that I would challenge you today, especially if you're struggling. Also, again, therapy, asking for that kind of help isn't a weakness. It's a real sign of strength, and it can be very, very beneficial. So don't give up on yourself. I'm not giving up on you. And if you ever need anything and you don't want to say anything publicly in these videos, my DMs and Discord are always open for you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Hopefully you got something good out of it. I always try to put something positive in your feed on a daily basis, if not at least every couple of videos a week. But that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up and send you on your way, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, take care.